Good day, everyone. My name is Hannah, and I am loving, living, and inspiring through classical music, shared experiences, travel, and lessons learned. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about how you can save money for travel, because when I was in college, I was very envious of other people who traveled because I attended a presentation where they talked about study abroad. And in my head, I was so jealous because I thought, well, these must be rich kids. Their parents must be able to afford this. And it wasn't until they mentioned that it was actually cheaper to study abroad than it was to actually pay tuition at the school I was going to. That's what really got me thinking, I can actually save money and do this myself. So the more I explored that, the more I realized that traveling is for everybody at any budget. And I want to give you ways that you can save money for travel, because travel has changed my life and I truly think it would change you for the better. So I thought of 5 things that you can do to help you with saving money for travel. And the first and foremost thing is your priorities. What is your main priority? Is your priority to be able to hang out with your friends every weekend and eat out at restaurants and buy drinks? If that's the case, you're probably going to have trouble saving some money, because those things can very much add up. When I first wanted to travel, it took me about 5 years to save the money because I was in college. And of course, as a college student, you don't have, you're not making a ton of money. So you're gonna really have to look at what you're spending your money on and where you can cut the corners of how much you spend. So for example, would you rather buy a coffee at Starbucks every day? Or would you rather use that extra money to buy coffee in Italy somewhere, or wherever it is you want to travel? Those things are so, and by the way, I think coffee at Starbucks is so overpriced. So things like that you can cut out. Prioritizing, you could still hang out with your friends. And I'm not saying that you should completely cut yourself off from the world and never have fun while you're trying to save. But you should take a moment to survey where you're putting your time and where you're spending money when you shouldn't, or you can get by without spending it. So that leads me to my second thing. In order to not deprive yourself, you do have to have fun in some ways. So find ways to enjoy yourself that are either free or low cost. For example, if you really like reading, instead of buying a book at Barnes & Noble every time you want to read something, or purchasing something off of the iBook store, you should go to the library and find a book that you really like that's free. You can also, there's an app that I really like called Hoopla, Hoopla. As long as you have a library card, you can enter in your library card number and you will have access to all of their iBooks. And I believe Hoopla also they might have movies or videos on there as well, which is pretty cool. And they have audiobooks too, so you can download that, and that's a great free way to entertain yourself. I know me and my husband, we don't have cable because we don't really use it. So, we do have a Netflix account, and that keeps us entertained if we want to watch TV of any sort. And then just finding free activities to do. Like if you just type that into Google, you'd be surprised at the things that you could see. Also, just spend some time, with a hobby, walking outside, doing things that are good for you, and choosing to do those things. I find it's also healthier, instead of going out to eat every weekend, choosing to maybe go out to eat once a month or every other week if it's really important to you. I find it's also healthier to eat at home. So the third thing you should do to start saving money for travel is to begin to actually plan what you want to do and find a way to get the best value out of what you plan on doing. So for example, I'm just going to use Italy as an example because I love Italy, and there's so many things to do there. So for example, if you want to go on a boat ride in, let's say, Capri, Italy, look up all the places that sell boat rides. Look up what the general cost is. I found that TripAdvisor was quite helpful for me because you could see, people's experiences and reviews on things. And get the general cost, okay? Then see if through your own work and research, if you can find a cheaper price than that. And that technique has really worked well for me, and all the things that we did was worth it, and they were great. I really enjoyed myself, like with the boat tour that we chose. It was by far one of the best priced ones, and it had great reviews, and it was a great experience. So just take the time. Now, this is going to require work, so it is extra work to do this, but I think it's completely worth it because you get to do exactly what you want to do, and you're saving money. On that note of planning on the best value for what you want, some people, if it's especially your first time traveling internationally, some people think, okay, well, because I'm unfamiliar with this place, I'll go to a tour company. And I've never done one, so I can't fully speak on it. However, in my opinion, I think it's a little bit, if I were you, you should just do the work of planning and taking the time to do a bunch of research, because at the end of the day, especially traveling internationally, because it's hard to find time to get off work to be able to do this stuff. You don't want to spend all this money and taking off time off work to not fully enjoy the experience that you hope to have. So if you plan it yourself, you're gonna enjoy it because it's things that you want to do. For example, these travel companies, the prices that they were charging for, let's say, like a 9-day trip, you might be going to 5 different places, but you might be spending only like a day, maybe 2 days. I don't know. I mean, you're spending very little time in the places that you're going, and the cost for this stuff, it's just, you can do a longer amount of time for way less than what the cost is on these tour things. And something else that you can do, like if you have, like, let's say you want to go to Italy. If you really want to go there but you don't know like what cities you want to go to, look up these tour websites, see what their itineraries are, and see what you like out of that. Or just Google what are the best things to do in Italy, or what's the best thing to do in France, or wherever you want to go. And then from there, figure it out. And to me, I think, let's say the first trip that I took, and it was me and my husband and my parents. We spent, I believe, 17 days. Now remember, when you're traveling across the ocean, a lot of that time, two days are travel. So for 15 days, we decided to go to 3 places, and I felt like that was perfect. And even then, we still felt like, I mean, literally all 3 of those places, we didn't see everything, and there's so much more that we could have seen. I will actually say we did go to, so we went to Florence, Capri, and Rome, but when we were in Capri, one day we did spend in Pompeii, so we went up there. So I guess technically 4 places, but that was only a day trip. So I wouldn't recommend going to a ton of places because that's going to cost more in transportation, and honestly, I just don't think the value is as much. You don't get to see as much, but it's totally up to you. Also, one more thing on trying to get the best value for your money in your planning process. One more thing I will mention is that timing is really important when it comes to booking the places that you're going to stay, as well as your flights. So I find that as soon as you can, book your hotel or your Airbnb, whatever. When we went to Italy, we went through the website VRBO. I don't know if it's called that or if it's called Verbo, but that's the website we did it through. And I think we did it about a year out. So as soon as you can, do it, because that's when the prices will be best. The longer you wait, the prices are going to go up. And then for planes, I find the same thing. The longer you wait, at least for me, the more expensive it is. So we bought our ticket for 2017. August 31st of 2016 was when we bought our flights, and we got round trip tickets from Ohio to Italy for, it was like $670 some, which I think is a pretty good price going to Europe. Now, we did have to compromise with the airport that we arrived in to Italy. We wanted to go to Florence, but to go to Bologna was cheaper. So we went there, and then we just took a cab to get to the place that we were staying in Florence. So timing is important, and also the day that you purchase a ticket. Tuesdays, Wednesdays are like the best time to buy things, because on the weekends the prices go up. And the day that you also fly is also more cheaper or expensive, which is something that you'll see. Like if you go to Google Flights, you'll see that the rates are moving up and down. So it might be, before you decide dates, it might be a good choice for you to base it off of what it will cost with flights and hotels. So that's something else to keep in mind. The fourth thing that you can do to help yourself save money for travel is to pick up some odd jobs. Now, I know that's probably not something you want to hear, because, I mean, that's like a no-brainer. Just work an extra job and there you go, you have more money. But what I'm talking about are things that are, like where you can make your own schedule, like depending on your comfortability. Something that I did that helped pick up extra cash was babysitting. There's so many couples out there who want to go on a date night, and you could say yes or no and decide if you want to do it or not. And that extra $40 could get you a boat tour, or it could get you a purse in another country, or it could get you a nice meal. So, taking those extra jobs, because every penny counts if you're trying to save extra money. And I guess the sooner that you could save it, the sooner you can go. Something else that I used to do was pick up odd jobs for my family. Like, for example, one of my grandparents wanted one of their fences painted, and so did that. Just doing things here and there can get you extra income. And nowadays there's all sorts of things that you can do online. If you're good at a subject or at teaching or explaining things, you can always tutor. And you can also, I've not done this, but I've heard good things about, there's a website called VIP Kids where you teach English to kids abroad. So that's another option if you're good at that. But there's all sorts of things that you can look up. Just look up what the things that you are good at, and you can find different ways to get more income. And finally, the fifth and last thing that you can do to help yourself save some money for travel is to keep your eye on the prize. Because I know it can be hard, especially if you're saving for years to do something like this, but I promise you it's worth it. Travel is one of the only things that you spend money on that makes you richer. You're never gonna regret traveling as long as you're smart about it. Think when you're having to sacrifice not spending any money so that you can save the money for travel, think, okay, would I rather buy a pizza tonight, or would I rather use that same money to buy pizza in another country? Think of it, that's the thing that always motivated me. You know, I can get this here now today, or I can go to Italy, or I can go to France, or wherever you want to go, and I can get whatever I want if I save my money and use it wisely. So I really hope this helps. Again, the 5 things that can help you save some money to travel is, first and foremost, your priorities. You have to have travel as your main priority to be able to save the money, because if you don't, it's going to be really hard. Second thing is to find free and low-cost activities. The third thing is to plan to get the best value. Start putting the work to plan so that you can get the best value for what you want to do. The fourth thing is to pick up some odd jobs if it's a doable thing with your schedule. And then the last thing is to keep your eye on the prize. Just always think this money is going to go towards some fun activity that I'm really looking forward to when I get the chance to be able to travel. I truly hope that this helps, and I hope this inspires you to do it. If you're someone who's never done it before, trust me, when I was a teenager, you know, none of my immediate family had ever traveled internationally, and I honestly just thought it was like out of reach for me, like something that just rich people do or people who are retired do. It's not. You can do it, and don't wait until you're older to be able to do that, because travel requires a lot of walking, and do it now while you're young, so that, because it changes you so much and you learn so much from it. So you'll be able to learn from the experiences that you get when you travel and be able to tell other people about it. It's changed me so much that I want to tell others about it, because I feel like there's so many people who think that it's out of reach for them as well, and it's not. You totally can. Wherever you want to go, you can do it, and you could save the money for it. You know, it doesn't matter if it's 5 years out. At least you're planning it. At least you're getting it decided and working towards a goal, because as long as you plan it, it will happen. You just have to start planning now. So again, I hope this helps. And have you traveled internationally? And if you have, how has it changed you? Please let me know in the comments. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.